Fierce cat fights off snake to save baby. What happens next is incredible. How will this story unfold? To find out, watch the video to the end. But first, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to get more stories like this. The sun was setting over the tranquil countryside, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. In a small, quaint cottage on the edge of a forest, Sarah was busy preparing dinner. The faint aroma of fresh herbs filled the air as she stirred a bubbling pot of stew. Her 6-month-old son, Oliver, giggled in the background, happily playing with his toys on a blanket spread out near the open kitchen door. Outside, their loyal cat, Luna, stretched lazily on the porch, enjoying the warmth of the fading sunlight. Luna had always been a curious and protective cat. Adopted from a shelter 3 years ago, she had quickly become an indispensable part of the family. Her sharp instincts and gentle demeanor made her the perfect companion for little Oliver, who adored her. Wherever Oliver went, Luna was never far behind, keeping a watchful eye on her young charge. As Sarah turned her attention back to the stove, she heard a faint rustling sound coming from the garden. She dismissed it as the wind brushing against the bushes. The countryside was teeming with wildlife. It wasn't unusual to hear the occasional rustle of leaves or chirping of crickets as the day transitioned into night. Luna, however, perked up her ears and stood alert. Her eyes narrowed as she scanned the garden, her tail twitching with unease. The rustling grew louder, and Luna stepped off the porch, her sleek body moving gracefully yet cautiously toward the sound. The golden light of dusk cast long shadows across the garden, making it difficult to discern what lay beyond the dense foliage. Luna's instincts told her something was amiss. She crouched low, her muscles tensed, ready to spring into action. Inside the house, Oliver's playful coos turned into a soft whimper. Sarah glanced over her shoulder to check on him. He was still on the blanket, but his gaze was fixed on the open door. He seemed captivated, almost mesmerized, by something outside. Sarah walked over to him, picked him up, and gently rocked him in her arms. "It's okay, sweetheart. Mommy's here," she said, her voice soothing. Suddenly, a loud hiss pierced the calm evening air. Sarah froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She looked out the door and saw Luna, her fur standing on end, facing off against a large snake. The serpent's scales glistened in the dim light, its body coiled tightly, ready to strike. Its beady eyes were locked onto the porch, where Oliver's toys were scattered. "Luna!" Sarah cried, her voice trembling with fear. She instinctively clutched Oliver closer to her chest. Luna didn't flinch. She stood her ground, her sharp claws unsheathed and her teeth bared. The snake lunged forward, its fangs glinting ominously. In a split second, Luna sprang into action. She leapt into the air, her powerful hind legs propelling her toward the snake. Her claws slashed through the air with precision, landing a blow on the serpent's head. The snake recoiled, hissing furiously as it writhed in pain. But Luna wasn't done. She circled the snake, her movements swift and calculated. Each time the snake tried to strike, Luna dodged with agility, delivering a counterattack that left the serpent disoriented. It was a battle of wits and survival, and Luna was determined to protect her family at all costs. Inside the house, Sarah frantically searched for something to help her fend off the snake. She found a broom and ran to the door, her hands shaking. "Luna, get back," she shouted, but Luna ignored her. The fearless feline was entirely focused on her adversary. With one final, powerful swipe, Luna struck the snake's head, sending it slithering back into the bushes. It hissed one last time before retreating into the shadows, defeated. Luna stood on the porch, her chest heaving, her fur slightly disheveled but otherwise unharmed. She let out a triumphant meow, as if to say, "I've taken care of it." Sarah dropped the broom and rushed to Luna, tears streaming down her face. "Oh, Luna, you brave girl," she said, kneeling down to scoop the cat into her arms. Oliver, sensing the relief in his mother's voice, giggled and reached out to touch Luna's fur. Luna purred softly, nuzzling against Sarah and Oliver, as if to reassure them that everything was okay. The incident left Sarah shaken but incredibly grateful for Luna's bravery. She knew the outcome could have been disastrous if not for their loyal cat. That night, as Oliver slept peacefully in his crib, Sarah sat with Luna on the couch, stroking her fur. "You're our guardian angel, Luna," she whispered. But the story didn't end there. The next morning, Sarah decided to share the incredible tale on social media. She posted a heartfelt message along with a picture of Luna, detailing how the fearless cat had saved her baby from a venomous snake. The post quickly went viral, garnering thousands of likes, shares, and comments. People from all over the world were touched by Luna's heroism. News outlets picked up the story, and soon reporters were knocking on Sarah's door, eager to meet the courageous cat. Luna became an overnight sensation, her story inspiring countless others. Animal lovers praised her instincts and courage, while parents empathized with Sarah's terrifying ordeal. Offers of gifts and donations poured in, including a year's supply of premium cat food from a pet care company. Amid all the attention, Sarah remained humble, constantly emphasizing that Luna was simply doing what she had always done, protecting her family. "She's more than just a pet," Sarah told a reporter during an interview. "She's family, and she's proven that love knows no bounds, even between different species." One day, a local veterinarian reached out to Sarah, offering a free health checkup for Luna. During the visit, the vet noticed something unusual. Luna's reflexes and muscle strength were remarkably well developed, even for a cat. Intrigued, the vet ran a few tests and discovered that Luna had an exceptionally rare genetic trait that enhanced her agility and endurance. This explained her extraordinary ability to fend off the snake with such precision and resilience. The revelation only added to Luna's mystique. She was no longer just a heroic cat. She was a marvel of nature. Scientists expressed interest in studying her genetics to better understand how certain traits could be harnessed to benefit both animals and humans. As weeks turned into months, Luna's fame grew, but life in the little cottage remained simple. Sarah ensured that the newfound attention didn't disrupt their daily routines. Oliver continued to grow, his bond with Luna stronger than ever. The two were inseparable, sharing countless moments of joy and laughter. One sunny afternoon, as Oliver played in the garden under Luna's watchful eye, Sarah reflected on how a single moment of courage had changed their lives forever. She realized that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes they have 4 legs and a tail. Luna's story became a symbol of love, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. It reminded everyone that true heroism lies in selflessness and the willingness to protect those we hold dear, no matter the odds. And so, the fearless feline who fought off a snake to save a baby continued to live her life surrounded by love and admiration. For Sarah, Oliver, and everyone who heard their story, Luna was more than a cat. She was a guardian, a savior, and a testament to the extraordinary lengths love can go to. As the news of Luna's heroic act continued to spread, a local animal welfare organization decided to honor her bravery. They invited Sarah, Oliver, and Luna to an annual event celebrating animals who had performed extraordinary deeds. The event, held in the town square, was attended by hundreds of people, including pet owners, animal lovers, and even local officials. Sarah, still adjusting to the attention, dressed Oliver in his best little outfit and prepared Luna with a small, decorative collar that had a tiny medal hanging from it. The inscription on the medal read, "Heroic Heart." When they arrived at the event, they were greeted with cheers and applause. Children pointed excitedly at Luna, and families gathered around to hear Sarah recount the story once more. The organization's director, an elderly woman named Helen, took the stage to present Luna with an award. "In all my years of working with animals, I've heard countless stories of loyalty and courage," Helen said, her voice warm and clear. "But Luna's bravery is truly exceptional. She didn't just protect her family. She reminded us all of the incredible bonds we share with our animal companions." The crowd erupted in applause as Luna was presented with a plaque commemorating her bravery. Sarah held back tears as she accepted the award on Luna's behalf. "I'm just so grateful," she said into the microphone. "Grateful for Luna, for my son's safety, and for the reminder that love and courage can come from the most unexpected places." The event also included demonstrations from search and rescue dogs, therapy animals, and even a performance by a troupe of trained cats. Luna, however, remained the star of the show. People lined up to take pictures with her, and many shared their own stories of pets who had touched their lives in meaningful ways. Among the attendees was a man named Dr. Kenneth, a renowned animal behaviorist. He approached Sarah after the ceremony, intrigued by Luna's story and her exceptional abilities. "She's remarkable," he said, crouching down to let Luna sniff his hand. "Her instincts and bravery suggest she's more than just a house cat." Dr. Kenneth proposed conducting a detailed study on Luna's behavior and genetics to better understand what made her so extraordinary. Sarah was hesitant at first, worried about Luna being subjected to unnecessary stress. However, Dr. Kenneth assured her that the study would be non-invasive and would take place in their home environment. It's as much about understanding her as it is about celebrating her, he explained. After some thought, Sarah agreed. Over the following weeks, Dr. Kenneth and his team visited the cottage, observing Luna's interactions with Oliver, her environment, and even her responses to various scenarios. They were amazed by her heightened reflexes, her ability to assess threats, and her seemingly intuitive understanding of human emotions. What stood out most was Luna's bond with Oliver. Dr. Kenneth noted how Luna would position herself strategically in the room, always keeping a clear line of sight to the baby. She's not just a protector, he observed. She's a guardian, a nurturer. It's almost as if she understands her role in this family on a deeper level. The study revealed that Luna's extraordinary abilities were partly due to her unique genetic makeup, but it was her environment and her bond with Sarah and Oliver that truly brought out her heroic traits. Love and trust, Dr. Kenneth concluded in his report, can amplify the natural instincts of animals, creating a bond that goes beyond species. The findings were published in a prominent journal, further elevating Luna's status as a symbol of courage and love. Media outlets revisited the story, and Luna's fame reached new heights. But for Sarah, the greatest reward was knowing that her family was safe and that Luna was as happy and healthy as ever. As life settled back into its routine, Sarah decided to channel the attention into something meaningful. Inspired by Luna's story, she partnered with a local animal welfare organization to start a program called Paws of Protection. The initiative aimed to pair families with rescue animals, emphasizing the mutual benefits of adoption and the incredible bonds that could form. The program was an instant success. Families who had been hesitant to adopt began visiting shelters, drawn by the idea of finding their own Luna. Shelter intake numbers decreased, and adoption rates soared. Sarah often volunteered at the events, sharing her story and encouraging others to open their hearts to animals in need. One day, while volunteering, Sarah met a young girl named Emily. Shy and soft-spoken, Emily had recently lost her family's beloved dog and was hesitant to adopt another pet. But when she met Luna, her face lit up. Luna, as if sensing the girl's sadness, rubbed against her leg and let out a soft purr. Emily knelt down, her eyes brimming with tears. "She's so special," she whispered. Sarah knelt beside her. "She is," she agreed. But every animal has the potential to be special. Sometimes, all they need is someone to love them. Inspired by her interaction with Luna, Emily and her family decided to adopt a tabby kitten from the shelter. The kitten, named Max, quickly became Emily's best friend, helping her heal from her loss and bringing joy back into her home. Stories like Emily's became a common occurrence, and Sarah often reflected on how one moment of courage had sparked a movement. Luna, now content to spend her days lounging in the sun and playing with Oliver, remained blissfully unaware of her impact. For her, life was simple: protect her family, give love, and receive it in return. Years later, when Oliver was old enough to understand, Sarah shared the full story of Luna's heroism with him. Sitting on a porch with Luna curled up beside them, she recounted every detail: the snake, Luna's bravery, and the incredible journey that followed. Oliver listened intently, his eyes wide with admiration. "Wow," he said, stroking Luna's fur. "She's like a superhero." Sarah smiled. "She is. And do you know what superheroes do?" "What?" "They remind us that we all have the power to be brave and kind, no matter how small we are." Oliver hugged Luna tightly, and for a moment, everything was perfect. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the little cottage where love, courage, and a fearless feline had created a story that would be remembered forever. Months passed since Luna's heroic actions, and life at the cottage found a gentle rhythm again. Sarah continued her work with the Paws of Protection program, dedicating her time to helping families connect with rescue animals. Luna, now the unofficial mascot of the initiative, became a beloved figure in the community. Whenever Sarah and Oliver attended an event, Luna would accompany them, proudly wearing her heroic heart medal. Oliver had grown into a lively toddler, his connection with Luna growing stronger with each passing day. They became inseparable, sharing moments of playful curiosity as Oliver toddled after Luna in the garden, laughing as she swatted at butterflies or rolled in the grass. To Oliver, Luna wasn't just a pet. She was a guardian and a friend, always watching over him with her wise amber eyes. One chilly autumn morning, Sarah decided to take Oliver and Luna for a walk along the forest path near their home. The trail, carpeted with golden leaves, was one of their favorite spots. Oliver giggled as he shuffled through the leaves, the crunching sound under his tiny boots filling the crisp air. Luna trotted alongside, occasionally darting off to investigate a rustling bush or a distant chirp. As they walked, they encountered an older man sitting on a bench with a forlorn expression. A leash dangled loosely in his hand, but there was no dog in sight. Sarah, always quick to notice someone in need, approached him. "Are you okay?" she asked gently, balancing Oliver on her hip. The man looked up, his eyes red-rimmed. "I lost my dog," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "She ran off after a squirrel, and I couldn't keep up." Luna, sensing the man's distress, approached him and nuzzled his leg. The man's expression softened as he reached down to stroke her fur. "She's beautiful," he said with a faint smile, "and clearly very smart." Sarah introduced herself, and Luna and the man, whose name was Henry, shared more about his dog, Daisy. She was an elderly Labrador, his loyal companion for over a decade. Henry's voice trembled as he spoke of her, his worry evident. "Maybe we can help look for her," Sarah offered. "Luna's pretty sharp, and we're good at searching together." Henry hesitated, but eventually nodded, grateful for the help. They began retracing his steps along the trail, calling out for Daisy. Luna, as if understanding the task, stayed ahead, her ears twitching as she listened for any sound. The search led them deeper into the forest, where the air grew cooler and the trees stood closer together. Luna suddenly stopped, her body tense. She let out a sharp meow and darted into the underbrush. "Luna!" Sarah called, hurrying after her with Oliver in tow. Henry followed closely, his breath hitching with hope. They found Luna crouched near a small clearing, her gaze fixed on a bundle of fur lying beneath a tree. It was Daisy. She appeared exhausted but unharmed, her tail thumping weakly against the ground as she recognized Henry. "Oh, Daisy," Henry choked out, kneeling beside her. He gently checked her over, relieved to find no injuries. "You silly girl, you gave me such a scare." Sarah handed him a water bottle, which he used to offer Daisy a drink. Luna watched quietly, her job done. Oliver clapped his hands, sensing the joy in the moment. "Thank you," Henry said, his voice thick with emotion. "I don't know what I would have done without your help." "It was all Luna," Sarah replied, smiling at her clever cat. "She has a knack for being in the right place at the right time." Henry insisted on treating Sarah and Oliver to tea as a gesture of gratitude. Over steaming cups of Earl Grey at a quaint nearby cafe, they learned more about Henry's life and his deep bond with Daisy. He shared stories of their adventures, painting a picture of a life filled with love and companionship. As they parted ways, Henry promised to support the Paws of Protection program, inspired by Luna's role in reuniting him with Daisy. The encounter further solidified Sarah's belief in the power of human-animal connections, and it gave her new ideas for the program. Inspired by the day's events, Sarah introduced a new initiative within Paws of Protection called Finders and Guardians. The program focused on training rescue animals with sharp instincts, like Luna, to assist in search and rescue missions. It also emphasized educating families on how to nurture their pets' natural abilities, creating stronger, more meaningful bonds. The program attracted widespread attention, drawing participants from across the region. It wasn't long before Luna's story, combined with the program's success, caught the interest of a documentary filmmaker. He reached out to Sarah, expressing his desire to create a feature about Luna's bravery and the impact of the Paws of Protection initiative. At first, Sarah hesitated. She valued the quiet life she'd built for herself, Oliver, and Luna. But after much thought, she realized the documentary could inspire countless others to appreciate and cherish the animals in their lives. The filming process was an exciting adventure for Oliver, who loved having cameras around. Luna, ever the composed heroine, handled the attention with her usual grace. The documentary, titled Luna's Legacy, Hero Cat's Journey, premiered months later to widespread acclaim. It highlighted not just Luna's courage, but also the transformative power of love and trust between humans and animals. As the years went by, Luna continued to be a cherished member of the family. Oliver, now a spirited young boy, often recounted Luna's heroic tale to anyone who would listen. For Sarah, Luna was more than just a pet or a hero. She was a symbol of resilience, love, and the extraordinary things that could happen when hearts connected. One evening, as the sun set over the cottage, Sarah sat on the porch, watching Oliver play with Luna in the garden. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. Sarah felt a profound sense of gratitude for the life they had built, a life shaped by courage, compassion, and the unbreakable bond they shared with a remarkable feline. And as Luna curled up beside her, purring contentedly, Sarah knew that their story, though already extraordinary, was far from over. The following week saw Sarah and Oliver's lives becoming a whirl of activity as the success of Luna's legacy, Hero Cat's journey, brought new opportunities their way. The documentary not only resonated with animal lovers, but also inspired a global movement for fostering, adopting, and training rescue animals. Sarah found herself at the heart of this movement, invited to speak at events and collaborate with organizations from all over the world. But through all the newfound attention, Sarah never lost sight of what mattered most: the simple, profound connection she and Oliver shared with Luna. Despite the busy schedules and public appearances, Sarah made it a priority to spend time at home, ensuring Luna and Oliver still enjoyed the peaceful, loving environment they had always known. One brisk winter morning, Sarah received an email from a woman named Clara, a teacher in a rural village a few hours away. Clara had seen the documentary and wanted to share her story. Her small school had been struggling to engage its students, many of whom came from challenging backgrounds. Inspired by Luna's story, Clara had started a classroom project where students wrote letters to shelter animals, imagining the life these animals might have lived and how they could help them find new homes. The project had been a success, sparking creativity and compassion among the children. Clara wondered if Sarah and Luna might visit the school to meet the students and talk about the bond between humans and animals. Moved by the heartfelt message, Sarah agreed. She, Oliver, and Luna made the trip to the village a few weeks later, driving through winding country roads until they reached the small, cheerful schoolhouse. The students, ranging in age from 6 to 12, were thrilled to meet Luna. They had written stories and drawn pictures of her, which they eagerly showed to Sarah. During her visit, Sarah shared Luna's journey, speaking about the importance of kindness and how animals could teach people to be brave and compassionate. Luna, ever the calm and composed feline, sat on Sarah's lap, presence captivating the room. One of the students, a shy boy named Daniel, approached Sarah after the talk. He held a drawing of a tabby cat, much like Luna, and explained that his family had once had a cat named Maple. They had to give her up when they moved into a no-pets apartment, and Daniel still missed her deeply. Sarah listened intently, her heart aching for the boy. She encouraged him to visit the local animal shelter and volunteer if he could. Even if you can't have a pet at home right now, she said, you can still make a difference in their lives. Daniel nodded, his eyes brightening at the idea. A few months later, Sarah received a letter from Clara. Daniel had started spending weekends at the shelter, helping care for the cats and dogs. He'd even been allowed to take Maple home again when his family moved into a pet-friendly apartment. Stories like Daniel's reaffirmed Sarah's commitment to her work. She continued to grow the Paws of Protection initiative, expanding its reach to include workshops for schools, shelters, and community centers. The workshops focused on teaching empathy through interactions with animals, helping children and adults alike understand the value of care, patience, and trust. Meanwhile, Oliver thrived in their unique household. His bond with Luna grew even stronger. He began to develop an interest in storytelling. Inspired by the many lives touched by Luna's story, Oliver started creating his own tales, often featuring a brave cat and her adventures. Sarah encouraged his creativity, keeping every story he wrote in a special binder they called the Luna Chronicles. One summer, an unexpected opportunity presented itself. A renowned publishing house reached out to Sarah after hearing about Oliver's stories. They proposed creating a children's book series based on Luna's adventures, with Oliver as the primary storyteller and Sarah guiding the process. Though the idea of publishing a book seemed daunting at first, Sarah recognized the potential it had to inspire even more people. Oliver, thrilled by the idea, threw himself into the project with enthusiasm. He worked closely with Sarah, recounting his vivid imagination and Luna's real-life heroics. The first book, Luna the Brave, Hero's Tale, was published within a year, featuring illustrations by a talented artist who perfectly captured Luna's spirit. The book became an instant hit, beloved by children and parents alike. Schools added it to their libraries, and animal shelters used it to teach empathy and promote adoption. Oliver, though still young, found himself in the spotlight as an emerging author, often accompanied by Luna at book signings and events. Despite their growing fame, life at the cottage remained a sanctuary for the family. Sarah ensured they balanced their public commitments with quiet moments at home, where they could enjoy simple joys like baking cookies, tending to their garden, or sitting by the fire with Luna curled up beside them. Over time, Luna became a symbol of hope and resilience for countless people. Letters poured in from around the world, sharing stories of how her journey had inspired acts of kindness and courage. From children adopting their first pets to adults overcoming their fears, Luna's impact was profound and far-reaching. But for Sarah, the greatest reward was seeing the love and compassion Luna brought into their own lives. She often reflected on that fateful day when Luna had saved Oliver, realizing how much their lives had changed because of one brave, determined cat. As the seasons passed and Luna grew older, Sarah made sure every moment they spent together was cherished. They celebrated milestones with quiet gratitude, honoring the extraordinary journey they had shared. And when the time eventually came to say goodbye to Luna, it was with the knowledge that her legacy would live on, not just in their hearts but in the lives she had touched. Years later, Oliver, now an accomplished writer, dedicated his first full-length novel to Luna. In the dedication, he wrote, "To Luna, the bravest heart I've ever known. You taught us how to love fiercely, live boldly, and cherish every moment. Your story will forever remind us of the extraordinary power of kindness." And as Sarah read those words, tears streaming down her face, she knew Luna's legacy had indeed become eternal. As Luna's legacy continued to grow, Sarah and Oliver found themselves at the forefront of a global movement that inspired compassion and empathy through storytelling and animal advocacy. The success of Luna the Brave, A Hero's Tale, had sparked an entire series of children's books, with each installment sharing a new adventure based on the lessons Luna had taught them and others. The series had become a beloved staple in classrooms, libraries, and homes around the world. The momentum didn't stop there. Sarah began partnering with animal shelters and rescue organizations to launch literacy programs. These programs encourage children to read to shelter animals, helping shy or nervous animals become more sociable while simultaneously improving the children's reading skills. The initiative, called Pause for Literacy, quickly gained traction, with schools and shelters adopting it across the globe. One particularly touching moment came during a visit to a shelter in New York City. Sarah and Oliver, accompanied by Luna, were there to celebrate the launch of a new Pause for Literacy program. The shelter was bustling with activity, filled with families and volunteers eager to meet Luna and participate in the event. Amid the crowd, the young girl named Mia stood out. She clutched a worn copy of Luna the Brave tightly in her hands, her eyes wide with excitement as she spotted the famous tabby cat. Mia had been struggling with a speech delay and often felt isolated from her peers. Her mother explained that reading Luna's story had given Mia a sense of comfort and courage, inspiring her to speak more confidently. When Mia was invited to read aloud to Luna, she hesitated at first, her small hands trembling. But as Luna settled beside her, purring softly, Mia's nerves seemed to melt away. She began to read, her voice gaining strength with each word. By the end of the session, the room erupted in applause, and Mia beamed with pride. Moments like this reaffirmed Sarah's mission. She realized that Luna's impact extended far beyond their personal story. It was transforming lives in ways she had never imagined. Back at home, life remained a delicate balance of public engagements and private moments. Sarah and Oliver always made time to enjoy the quiet beauty of their cottage. The garden had become a sanctuary, filled with vibrant flowers and a small memorial for the rescue animals they had fostered over the years. One spring morning, as they were planting new flowers, a letter arrived in the mail. It was from a retired firefighter named Jack, who had recently adopted a dog through one of Sarah's partner shelters. Jack shared how the dog, named Hero, had helped him cope with the emotional scars of his career. He explained that Luna's story had inspired him to open his heart to adoption, and Hero had brought healing and joy into his life. Jack's letter was accompanied by a donation to the Paws of Protection initiative, with a note expressing his gratitude for the work Sarah and her team were doing. The letter touched Sarah deeply, reminding her of the ripple effect Luna's journey had created. As the years went by, Sarah began to envision a legacy that would endure long after Luna's time with them. She established the Luna Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to animal rescue, literacy programs, and community outreach. The foundation became a beacon of hope, drawing support from individuals and organizations who believed in its mission. Oliver, now a teenager, played an active role in the foundation. His creativity and passion for storytelling made him a natural advocate for their cause. He often visited schools and libraries, sharing his experiences and encouraging young readers to find their voices through stories. One summer, the Luna Foundation hosted its first annual Paws of Hope Festival, a community event celebrating the bond between humans and animals. Held on the grounds of Sarah's cottage, the festival featured activities like pet adoptions, storytelling sessions, and workshops on animal care and empathy. The highlight of the festival was a special tribute to Luna. Attendees gathered around a beautifully crafted statue of the brave tabby, her paw raised as if to say, "You can make a difference." The statue was surrounded by plaques featuring messages from people whose lives had been touched by Luna's story. As Sarah stood before the crowd, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She spoke about the day Luna had saved Oliver, reflecting on how that single act of courage had set them on this incredible journey. "Luna taught us that even the smallest among us can be heroes," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. She reminded us that love and kindness have the power to change the world. This festival, this foundation, all of you here today, it's all because of her. And I know her legacy will continue to inspire us for generations to come. The crowd erupted in applause, their admiration for Luna and Sarah palpable. As the festival continued, Sarah watched families adopting pets, children reading to shelter animals, and volunteers working tirelessly to support the cause. It was a testament to the incredible impact Luna had made. In the quiet moments after the festival, Sarah and Oliver sat by the fire, Luna nestled between them. They reflected on the day, sharing their favorite memories and laughing at the antics of the newly adopted animals. "Do you think Luna knows how much she's changed the world?" Oliver asked, stroking her soft fur. Sarah smiled, her heart full. "I think she does, Oliver. And I think she knows how much we love her." As the fire crackled and the stars filled the night sky, Sarah felt a deep sense of peace. Luna's journey had not only transformed their lives, but it also created a legacy of love and kindness that would endure forever. As the years went by, Luna continued to inspire people far and wide. Her story, once just a small chapter in Sarah and Oliver's life, had blossomed into a worldwide movement that celebrated courage, compassion, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. The Luna Foundation's initiatives expanded rapidly, reaching communities that had long struggled with animal welfare and literacy education. In rural towns and bustling cities alike, Luna's name became synonymous with hope. The foundation partnered with international organizations to provide resources for animal rescues, improve shelter conditions, and fund programs aimed at teaching children empathy through animal care. One such initiative, Luna's Pals, became particularly popular. This mentorship program paired children with rescued animals, allowing them to learn responsibility and compassion by caring for a furry companion. The program had a profound impact, especially on children from challenging backgrounds. For many, it was their first opportunity to feel a sense of accomplishment and unconditional love. One boy, Mateo, stood out in particular. Mateo had been living in a group home, struggling to find his place in the world. He rarely spoke to anyone, preferring to stay in the background and avoid attention. When the Luna Foundation introduced Luna's Pals to his community, Mateo was paired with a timid dog named Shadow. At first, both Mateo and Shadow were hesitant, unsure of each other. But over time, they formed a bond built on trust and understanding. Mateo began opening up, not only to Shadow, but also to the staff and other children. He started sharing stories of their adventures during Luna Time, a daily session where children were encouraged to reflect on what they had learned from their animal companions. By the end of the program, Mateo had transformed. He was more confident, more expressive, and full of dreams for the future. When Sarah met Mateo at a foundation event, he told her, "Shadow and Luna showed me that I'm not invisible. I want to help others feel the same way." Stories like Mateo's fueled Sarah's drive to continue expanding the foundation's reach. With each new initiative, she found herself learning as much as she taught, discovering the incredible resilience of people and animals alike. Meanwhile, Luna herself had become something of a celebrity. People from around the world traveled to meet her, drawn by her story and her remarkable presence. Despite her fame, Luna remained the same gentle, courageous cat who had once risked everything to save her family. She seemed to understand the significance of her role, often curling up beside nervous children or nuzzling volunteers who needed a bit of encouragement. One particularly memorable visit took place at a hospital in Chicago. The Luna Foundation had been invited to host a special event for children undergoing long-term medical treatment. Luna was the guest of honor, and her arrival was met with cheers and applause. Among the children was a young girl named Ava, who had been battling a rare illness for most of her life. Ava adored animals, but her condition made it difficult for her to visit shelters or have a pet of her own. When she heard Luna was coming, she insisted on attending, despite her exhaustion. When Ava finally met Luna, something magical happened. Luna climbed onto Ava's lap, purring softly and gazing up at her with warm, golden eyes. Ava beamed, her face lighting up with pure joy. She stroked Luna's fur, whispering, "You're even braver than I imagined." The moment left a lasting impression on everyone in the room. For Sarah, it was a poignant reminder of why she had dedicated her life to this mission. Luna had a way of reaching people in ways no one else could, offering comfort and strength even in the darkest moments. As the Luna Foundation celebrated its 10th anniversary, Sarah decided to write a memoir about their journey. Titled Luna's Light, How One Cat Changed the World, the book chronicled the highs and lows of their incredible adventure. It delved into the challenges they had faced, the lives they had touched, and the enduring legacy they hoped to leave behind. The memoir quickly became a bestseller, resonating with readers from all walks of life. It sparked conversations about the power of kindness and the importance of standing up for those who couldn't speak for themselves. Sarah received countless letters from readers, each one sharing how Luna's story had inspired them to take action in their own communities. One letter came from a teacher in Japan who had introduced Luna the Brave to her classroom. She wrote about how her students had been so moved by the story that they organized a fundraiser to support a local animal shelter. Another letter came from a retiree in Brazil who had started volunteering at a shelter after reading Sarah's memoir. Each story was a testament to Luna's far-reaching impact. Through it all, Luna remained at the heart of everything. She was no longer the sprightly kitten who had once saved Oliver, but her spirit remained as strong as ever. In her golden years, Luna spent her days lounging in the garden, basking in the sun and watching over the cottage that had become a haven for so many. One autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Sarah and Oliver sat by Luna's side, reminiscing about their journey. Oliver, now a young man with plans to study veterinary medicine, held Luna gently in his arms. "Do you think Luna knows how much she's done for the world?" he asked, his voice tinged with emotion. Sarah smiled, her eyes glistening with tears. "I think she does, Oliver. She's always known." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Sarah felt a profound sense of peace. Luna had not only saved their family, but had also brought light to countless others. Her legacy would endure, carried forward by the lives she had touched and the love she had inspired.